What are you doing? Apologize to Mom.
Listen, did you even look at the food? My sushi is not food, George.
Trouble busters!
So annoying. It's late, Helen. Open up quickly. Mrs. Atkinson? I bought you a baby present. What the hell is this? There's no way you stay at home all day and never clean the house, honestly. My name is Helen and I'm 30 years old. I'm a housewife who's just given birth. Lately, I've been having trouble with my mother-in-law visiting me without contacting me beforehand. Ma'am, if you suddenly came without any notice...
I'm home.
Sit down, Helen dear.
Oh, Mom, you're here.
George, I brought some sushi over to celebrate. The stuff cost $1,000 per person, you know.
$1,000?
Please help yourselves.
Wow, looks so good.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Bon appetit. Huh? What's wrong, Helen? What are you doing?
It's okay.
No, it's not okay. What are you talking about?
It's okay. It's my fault for bringing sushi even though you've just given birth.
What?
I'm such a klutz, truly. I really have to be more careful.
Oh, Mom.
We're about to celebrate the baby again next time. I'm sorry, Helen. Yes, ma'am. I don't want any more celebrations, and I must ask that you don't come for a while.
What? Hey, now, why are you saying such horrible things?
Horrible?
Of course! In the first place, you had been saying you wanted to eat sushi for a long time, so she bought it for you like this, you know? Apologize to Mom!
But that was... Don't talk to her that way, George.
But Mom, you went to the trouble of celebrating our baby's birth with such high-class sushi.
Trust me, she's important to you. She's your wife, right? You have to be by her side no matter what, understand?
But...
I've always known that Helen doesn't think well of me.
Is that so, Helen?
That's not true. This is just too far. I'm really sorry. I just wanted to celebrate as early as I could and came without telling you first. I'm so happy, you see. It's my first grandchild, after all. But as Helen said, I'll hold off for a while. She probably doesn't even want to see my face.
Hey, Mom, don't say things like that. Helen, what's gotten into you? Hurry up and apologize to Mom.
Listen! Just listen to me for 1 second. Come now, please. Let's leave it at that. They say it's easy for a woman to get a little moody after giving birth, so it can't be helped, right? Moody?
Are you seriously all right with having Mom say this much? I didn't think you would be so inconsiderate of other people's feelings. I'm so disappointed. If you don't apologize right now, I'll consider divorce, you know.
And you don't know my side of things.
Huh?
If you have the audacity to use the word divorce so easily, I'll not put up with it anymore. Unforgivable. Troublebusters. George.
Yeah?
Your sushi on the table and my sushi in the trash? Take a look and compare them.
Huh? Don't say bullshit and change the topic. Apologize first. The talking starts from there.
Listen, did you even look at the food? My sushi is not food, George.
That can't be true. It was the same sushi as ours, wasn't it? Even though they all look the same, there's no way your sushi is the only weird serving. That's just ridiculous.
Helen, you must really hate me to say something like that. Could you also, stop with playing the victim and calling for sympathy?
Helen, are you trying to make Mom even sadder? Human beings who condescend to other people's feelings are the worst, you know. Don't frickin' disappoint me so much.
You're still saying that without looking carefully? Why don't you just pick it up and eat it yourself then?
Seriously, you better get reasonable right now, or so help me. I'm really sorry, Mom, for making you feel sad.
I just replaced the bag and there's nothing else in it, so it's still clean. There's no need to do anything like that. Come on, George, let's celebrate once again when her mood improved, this time with your father too. And you too, Helen. You just weren't in the mood today, right?
I understand.
Huh?
I gotta eat it, huh? Apologize properly if you're happy, all right?
You can't just eat something you've already thrown away, George. Just eat your own portion, okay?
It would be a waste to dispose of something that Mom had prepared for us, Helen. $1,000, damn it!
Wait. And there you go. You can't let your precious son eat sushi full of Carolina Reapers now, can you?
Huh? Carolina? What are you on about?
Yeah, Helen, there's no way something like that's in the sushi. I've never even heard of Carolina Reapers in sushi. This is something anyone could notice right away, and you still deny it at this stage? The hell, Helen? You're the only one making such an ugly fuss. You look so miserable. George just came home all tired and is in the middle of his meal. It's a celebration, so let's have some fun, okay? Come on, let's sit down, George.
But...
Would you like to try it then, Mrs. Atkinson? As long as you never did anything, you can eat it, right? No, I can't.
It definitely smells strange.
Oh, no.
What the heck? Does this really have Carolina Reaper in it?
That's not all.
Wait, don't tell me. All the sushi? What the actual... This one has so much wasabi in it, and this one's discolored and become hard. What's going on here?
Oh, what's going on here, indeed? Maybe the sushi restaurant put those things in by mistake, silly people. That can't be true, can it?
Mom, where did you buy this?
Huh? Well, from Tiger Cat Sushi, as always.
I'll call them now.
What?
It's too crazy. Tiger Cat Sushi is delicious, and I trusted them with their services. But it's insane that something like this is being sold to the public. It's better to report something like this and get our money back.
Are you seriously still saying that?
Huh?
What kind of godforsaken, dilapidated restaurant would serve discolored sushi with Carolina Reaper powder and wasabi and sell it for $1,000 per person? It makes sense if you just think about it just a little bit, right?
It seems silly, but...
Why can't you understand? Mrs. Atkinson did this. She added so much wasabi that it oozed out from the sides. She added Carolina Reaper powder until the rice turned red. And your lovely, darling mother did all of this. What's more, the sushi closest to me, which George couldn't see, was especially strange. It was so obvious who did this. The store has nothing to do with it, nor are they at fault for this.
But Mom would never...
Yeah, Helen, you don't have any proof that I did it. Please don't say such horrible things. Proof? Yes, if you insist on saying that much, show me proof that I did it. Should we really call the store then? Shall we ask if you really bought 3 orders of sushi for $1,000 each today, or if you bought 1 yesterday? Ordering such high-quality sushi on a weekday is pretty rare since there's nothing much going on, and I think you'll be able to confirm right away.
Huh?
The sushi that was in front of me was something that she had ordered yesterday.
How do you know that?
My serving was obviously not as fresh as yours or Mrs. Atkinson's. There's no way she could have ordered all the food on the same day with that much of a difference.
But still...
I understand. There's no point in talking like this, and if you're in doubt that much, we should really call the store and ask. You're okay with this, right, Mrs. Atkinson? That would make things faster. No, we would be impeding on the store, so to speak. It's probably busy right now, so it wouldn't be a good time for them to call. Why not? The food provided by the restaurant was obviously strange. I think it's definitely better for restaurants to understand this is a fact, you see. But... And isn't it also quite stressful for you, Mrs. Atkinson? Because I'm suspecting you of foul play. If the conclusion tells me that it wasn't you who did it, ma'am, I'll bow my head sincerely and apologize. And I'll do whatever it takes to get your forgiveness. But still, a phone call shouldn't be.
Mom, are you serious? No way! Why would you do that?
Why did you put such spicy things on the sushi, ma'am? I couldn't help myself. About what, ma'am? I was happy that George always came back when you weren't here, you see. Excuse me? He's always smiling so much and so kind and considerate, and the house I lived in together with John instantly became brighter, you see. And so what, ma'am? The moment you came back from the hospital, George was gone too.
Mom, I'm married, you know? Since Helen returned from the hospital, obviously I would go back to her.
Yes, I know that very well, but I couldn't help but feel lonely, so I guess you could say it was a bit of an impulse.
An impulse? Can you even tell the difference between good and bad at your age, Mom?
Are you trying to tell me that you did that to make me understand how lonely you felt? That's right.
If so, you should just say so honestly. I seriously can't believe you would do something like this.
If you told us that from the beginning, we would have increased the number of visits, ma'am. Increase the number of visits, eh? You have no idea how I feel. What? It's not about you visiting or anything like that. As soon as George doesn't come home every day from work, my feelings of loneliness creep in.
And I'm telling you, I'm no longer the same person I was when I was single. Why don't you understand why it doesn't work that way?
Can't be helped, George. You'd be coming home every day for a week, but you didn't even seem lonely in the slightest when you just skedaddled back to this woman. This woman, ma'am?
You never had any problem with me leaving after visiting you now, did you? I wonder why this would happen just because I stayed at your place for a longer time than usual. We're less than an hour's drive away, so if you want to meet up, we can always meet up, Mom.
And I'm telling you, that's not the problem. In the first place, I was against living separately, you know? Does that mean you wanted to live together? That's right, we had talked about living together before, but neither of you shook your head up and down. You weren't like that once upon a time, but ever since you met this woman, you've completely changed. I thought this would happen eventually, ma'am. Outsiders can shut the hell up! What the?
What the hell, Mom? We've only been married for 2 years, huh? If we decided to all live together right away, we wouldn't have had the precious time to spend together as husband and wife.
Mrs. Atkinson, you don't like me, do you?
Huh?
What, huh? How dense are you, George? You just listen to her speak, anyone would understand. Think about it a little.
Well, sure, it sure looks like it, but Mom, do you hate Helen?
There's no way I could take a liking to this woman who would take away a mother's precious son.
What the hell? You were just protecting her a few moments ago. Was it a lie that I had to stand by my wife no matter what?
Stand by your wife? You don't need to become a goddamn brainless simp, George Atkinson.
A simp? I don't understand. What is it that you dislike so much about this reality? Did Helen ever do anything to you?
Did she ever do anything to me? The biggest cause of my hatred towards her is that she stole you away from me.
Stole me away? Does that mean you would have been satisfied if I had lived with you without ever finding someone and getting married? You never thought about my happiness at all, have you? You only thought about yourself.
No, George. That's not. Boy is destined to be the heir to our family, but if your wife can't even do that, there's no way I can accept her as your wife, son.
The heir? That's such a stupid reason to justify your trying to physically hurt Helen. I'm ashamed of you, Mom.
George, honey. No, this isn't something stupid.
Helen, I'm sorry. I doubted you and I said some terrible things. I'm so sorry for considering divorce after letting my blood boil up to my head. I'm so sorry.
I'm glad you understand, honey, and I should have explained him properly in the beginning. Shut up! If you hadn't frickin' existed! What? If you hadn't frickin' existed, George would have always been mine!
Enough already!
George?
I don't belong to anyone. I care about you, Mom, Helen, and of course my new daughter, Sadie, all in the same way.
In the same way? You little bastard! Who do you think gave birth to you and raised you, eh? It's all thanks to me that you are what you are now.
So you're that kind of person who would say such a thing. I'm so ashamed of you. I don't want to see your face ever again.
No, this is... George, darling, listen, I didn't mean to make you feel bad. Just that I miss spending time with you. Maybe I went a little too far, I admit, but I didn't mean to say that. In any case, I'm not willing to put myself in dangerous situations. You are not welcome here for the time being. Even George is staying along this trajectory. And I don't think I can trust you either, Mrs. Atkinson, until we contact you. George!
What?
You heard that, right?
Huh?
A regular wife is meant to step in at times like this and stop quarrels between the parents and the children. And yet she takes advantage of your frustration and tells me I'm not welcome. Are you really going to let this bitch say something like this to your precious mother? Do you really think you can do well with her in the future?
What are you talking about? Obviously I do. My mother, a woman who was very important to me, is no longer here.
What? Mrs. Atkinson, I was the one who was angry in the first place, remember?
I also agree with Helen's opinion. Please don't come here until we contact you. I won't feel well, so please don't call or email me at all either.
No, please. I'll also inform Mr. Atkinson of this. Why would you? I understand, I get it. I won't come again. I won't come near this house or contact you until you two are satisfied. That's enough of a promise, right? Please don't tell John. So she says, sir, but what shall we do?
What?
Were you actually in front of our house the whole time? I'm so sorry, sir. The door is unlocked. Please come in.
That person on the phone. Could I have been...
John?
Susan, what the hell are you doing?
How?
Dad, how are you here? I received a call from Helen's son. Your wife is here. Could you please come pick her up sometime, perhaps after work? That's what she said. What?
If I didn't, who could stop you from staying the night as usual, I told myself. Normally I wouldn't mind, but I'm still not getting enough sleep these days and I can't do anything to entertain you.
Now that I think about it, you're right. Looking at the message from Helen, I thought something was going on over here, so I called her. I could hear your conversation the whole time. Oh, I see. So I was heading over here while listening to the whole thing unfold.
You absolute coward! How dare you!
That's my line, Susan.
But
Helen was just discharged from the hospital yesterday, huh? You suddenly barge in and end up trying to make her eat sushi that looks questionable regardless, didn't you? Do you realize that if you make a mistake like this, you could be sued? And also, what kind of nerve do you have to order 3 sushi dishes that cost $1,000 per person?
I just wanted to celebrate my granddaughter's birth, and I wanted George to eat some delicious sushi at least every once in a while.
Regardless, what the hell is wrong with your sense of money, huh? $3,000, Susan! 3 frickin' grand! And furthermore, one of them you tampered with by smearing wasabi and Carolina Reaper powder so she couldn't eat it. Did you go insane because you're at home all the time?
I may have gone a little too far, but I was really thinking for George's sake.
Not a little too far, Susan. You went leaps and bounds too far. You don't need to be a housewife anymore. I think it would be better if you understood the harshness of the world a little now.
No, I've never worked a day since I got married. It's impossible for me to just start working now, right?
There's no point in saying anything.
There's no way I can find a job at such an old age, can I?
No, you can. In this day and age, people can do a variety of jobs, regardless of their age. Why don't you try working something like twice a week first?
I can't. Can't. I just can't start working now.
Don't care, didn't ask. You better realize through working how foolish you were with taking this course of action and change yourself for the better. Experience for yourself how much money $3,000 is and how much physical effort it takes to get it.
No, please.
Helen?
Yes, sir?
I'm truly sorry for what's happened. I'll congratulate you and our newest angel in some other way soon.
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
Also, I will not let her come near your family for the foreseeable future. It would mean the world if we settled this matter now. I'm so sorry. Susan!
I am so sorry. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
George? Yeah, Dad? Your number 1 job is to protect your family. Yes, sir. Take care of it, no matter what. Yes, sir.
And that's how Mrs. Atkinson was dragged home by her husband. According to him, she's been hired as a part-time worker at his acquaintance's company, and she wakes up early every day to work, feeling extremely overwhelmed in the process. As for me, I was a little disappointed in my husband for a time, but I'm relieved that he seems to have repented his actions. From now on, guys, let's look in the same direction, all 3 of us, and do our best. Troublebusters.